So I was just walking back from the gas station to drop off something for my friend at her work, some Reese's and an energy drink. Anyway, no license plate light on that car. Look at that. I just think that's odd. So many cars with no license plate lights right past my house all the time. I'm sure it's nothing. I'm sure who knows? Anyways, I get pulled over for that kind of shit. I don't know. Maybe other people don't. That's not the point of this reason I started recording. Sorry, I have this cold in my hand. Soda, yeah. Oh, I have to take my shoes off. This grass feels good. Just a second. Okay. As I was saying, so I know how some people, like my whole life, I've kind of held back a lot, especially when I was younger. And then I'd drink alcohol, like when I was in like my 20s, my early 20s, mid 20s. When I'd drink alcohol, then I'd get emotional and I'd tell people all this stuff. Not about me, but about like what I saw in them, and just, you know how drunk girls are when they're young. Like Ryan from Upchurch has that song, drunk girls at Top Golf or whatever he says. Anyways, and once again, I just thought of that for a reason. Okay, I need to slow down because I'm trying to walk in this grass and enjoy it and talk and remember what I was going to say at the same time. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I might have taken a dab before I started my walk. That's beside the point. My point being, I went to the gas station. Oh, I have something to say about that place too. But I went to the gas station and I saw this van that I used to have, the same van back when I was like in my late 20s. And I had been with the same, I had the same boyfriend for like 12 years or something like that. I don't know, when I had this van. And one day, he had taken the van to Home Depot, taken the seats out and everything so he could go get some stuff at Home Depot. And I just had this weird feeling that something weird was, that he wasn't really doing what he said he was doing. And I trusted this guy, I just didn't think, I thought everything was fine. Well, I got this overwhelming feeling and I decided to go with my gut. And I went and I got in my little 1989 Ford Escort, 2-door Ford Escort sport car. It was like a little sport. It was red. It was so cute. Anyway, and I fit my lawnmower in the back. And I was wearing a brown sundress. I'm never going to forget. And I walked out because there was 2 entrances because we were staying at his parents' house because we had just sold our house in Vancouver, Washington. Oh, look at the train. It's really loud, so I'm just going to sit here for a second and enjoy it. Because, man, that conductor guy on that train, that's a hard worker right there. So might as well wave. You probably can't see me, but wave anyway. It's good luck to wave at a train. And it's Mercury retrograde, is that what they call it? Or whoever they are, who we call it. I wonder what's on that train. It looks like cargo trailer things. Sometimes they bring oil through here. Like the whole train will be just things of oil. Yeah. A lot of people don't like that. They say, what if it derails? Well, you can what if in one hand and shit in the other one and see which one fills up first, right? You can what if all day long. What if, what if, what if. And it's going to be what ifing. If it happens, it happens. Gosh, so people need to understand that life would be or maybe too many people would go off their animal instincts and they'd freaking start killing each other. Just kidding. That's what people think is going to happen if we... It's so crazy how our minds are controlled through the television, tell lies to our vision, television. Anyways, back to reality. No. Okay. These houses over here are for sale for like, I think it's $2.5 million. It's fucking crazy. Anyways, I mean, it's a fourplex, but still, give me a fucking break. 2.5 mil? Good Lord, that's a lot of money. Okay, as I was saying, the whole thing with the van, he took the van and I got in the car and I decided I wasn't going back. I decided I was just going to leave. And I did, and I never went back because I knew he was cheating on me. I had a feeling. Went with my gut on that. I'm glad that I did that because I ended up meeting my husband because we had remodeled our friend's basement, or not remodeled it, we had just sheetrocked it for him and he paid us to do it. Well, he'd only paid us half the money. So since I didn't have anything when I left except for the lawnmower, there's another no license plate light. Crazy. Anyway, I swear those are feds. Maybe not. It's been happening for too many years for it to be feds or something. There's no way people would follow me for fucking 10 years. Anyway, I don't think they can follow you for 10 years, but for 10 years I've been seeing every freaking car at night that drives past my house has no license plate light. Not everyone, but I'd say the majority. Okay, anyways, that's a whole other, see, tangent. Squirrel! Isn't that what they say? Like somebody goes off on something. Okay. Anyways, so my friend paid me the rest of the money. That was nice of him since I left like a whole thousands and thousands of dollars in the bank and just walked away. I don't know how he got, wonder how he got my name off that. Anyways, that's another, whatever. It doesn't matter now. I don't care. So the point being is our relation, like there was something, obviously we weren't meant to be together, and why buy the cow if you can get the milk for free? That's what my mom told me when I was young. Like, she's like, if you guys are going to stay together, you should get married, She's like, she just would always tell me that. And I was like, no, Mom, there's no reason because, what if we break up? She's like, well, if you break up, everything is half of yours. And I'm like, well, but I don't want anything. If we break up, then I'm not going to want anything that we had. Like, I just didn't understand that, at the time because I was young and I was like, I thought I was in love. Oh my God, give me a break. We were not in love. It was convenient. And yeah, don't ever stay out of convenience, especially if you don't have kids. Because we didn't have kids. Thank goodness gracious. Like, I am so glad I did not have kids with him. Because, like, obviously we weren't going to be together. And then my kids don't have a dad anyways. But they do have a dad. Like, they do have a dad. He's just, you can't see him, because he is in a different realm or something. That's what. Anyways, whole different story. So, my point is when I saw that van, literally all of that stuff came flooding back to me. And I went with my gut. And I said to that kid, I told him a little story about why buy the cow and you can get the milk for free. Because I saw his ring on his finger and I'm thinking, good job for that young guy. He did, hopefully I just thought all of this stuff. And anyways, and then when I was looking at him, when I was paying, I got this feeling that maybe there was a little bit of negative thought, like, going on. Like, something negative was going on. So I just didn't see I don't know. So I said to him, I said, there's something. I said, I saw your van, and it made me think of all of these things from when and I said, so I'm going to say something to you, and I don't know why I'm saying it, but I'm going to tell you, don't let a negative thought last longer than 16 seconds. Make sure you and your wife have a good sex life, and be positive with each other, and tell each other what you like about each other, and you're going to be good. And I just felt the overwhelming need to tell him that. And I finally did it. Like, I started doing it for a while, but then I got discouraged because people were like, Jenny's, because I'd be with other people and I would do this stuff and they would get embarrassed and, but when I feel like God is telling me to, hey, say this, like, I'm not a crazy person. So I know that there's a reason that I'm getting these overwhelming emotions and feelings to say these things. Like, I literally was almost in tears when I walked out of that gas station. And I also said to him, hey, Paul's a cool guy. Like, just make sure you're consistent, because he's a new worker there. He just started like a few weeks ago, I think. And I know the owner really well, and he's a good guy. He can be a hard ass though. Like, he might come across like you have to freaking to be his friend and to work for him. You can't be a pussy. That's all there is to it. You just can't. Because if you're a pussy, you're gonna get walked all over, and if you're gonna get walked all over, who knows? Somebody might try to rob you. Who fucking knows? Anyway, and I just made that little comment that Paul's a good guy, so he's lucky to work for him, and just make sure you're consistent. Because I think the kid probably either needs the job really bad or something. I don't know what the deal is with him, but I just knew that I should have told him that. I don't know why I'm telling everybody else this right now on my YouTube. Like anybody, I only have 101 subscribers, and like, I think I get 1 view per video, which is maybe that one person needed to hear it. So I'm okay with that. I'm not trying to be a YouTube star, I'll tell you that. But I am trying to help this world and humanity unite with each other and bring heaven down onto earth. I really think that would be a great thing. And I think we can have a united humanity someday. And I think that everything that's everywhere, everything that ever was is everywhere. Like, what's his name says in that song. Like, everybody knows what I'm talking about. Who sing Apathy, maybe? And it's, what is Legend of the Third Degree? I think that's Apathy Legend. I think that is the artist and the song title. I'm not positive though, so you can look up either one and you'll probably find it, and it's a great, great song. You can get a lot of insight if you listen to certain music. Or I have gotten a lot of ideas and a lot of knowledge, because you hear these things, and so you want to look into it more, because you're like, that makes sense. Why is that? There's also Vinnie Paz has a song called King Diamond or something, Diamond King or something. I don't remember. I really don't remember the names. Dang. But he says, he says he's sick. But he controls the disease. He's got Lymer's, or it's not Lymer's, or it's Lymer's, but not the kind Napoleon feeds, or something like that, he says. But if you know, you know. That's all I'm gonna say. That shit's fucking a mind fuck. And it's true. You're sick, you control the disease. And look into that kind of stuff. If you hear music and you hear like something that you didn't understand. I understood it the first time I heard it, because I've lived through it. Well, what I interpret it as. So anyway. My kids tonight are both at their friends' houses. It's so crazy when your kids get older, because you realize, like, they are like little versions of yourself. That can be a good or a bad thing. I'm glad it's a good thing when it comes to my kids being little versions of myself, because I feel like I've always been a good person. I haven't always made the right decision, but I've always been a good person. Like, you can be a good person and make bad decisions. Not every person in the world makes good decisions all the time. We do shady shit and don't even realize it sometimes as humans. Like, that's part of the human experience. It's how we learn. It's a problem when you don't learn from your mistakes. I've never been a thief though. That's one thing I have to say. Like, I'm not really into people stealing from people. I guess there's different kinds of, depends on what you look at. Actually, people can be energy thieves and not even realize it. Like for instance, again, the kid at my high school sweetheart guy. Well, I don't know why they call them high school sweethearts. Mine was not a sweetheart. And I wasn't a sweetheart to him by any means. That was a learning ordeal for sure. But, whoa. I just got distracted big time by that. Oh, you can't see it. Obviously, I wasn't supposed to speak on that, whatever I was going to speak on. Anyways, yeah. So, manifestation validation is a real thing. And there's a whole process to it, though. You have to actually believe. You have to realize. There's another no license plate light. I'm going to just start saying it every motherfucking time I see somebody driving past me with no license plate light. I'm going to say it. And then I'm going to realize how often I fucking say it and how often it happens. And I'm going to have somebody else that I know start paying attention. And I want them to say it and see if they say it as often as I do. And if they say it as often as I do, I will stop making a big deal about it. Actually, I don't make a big deal, but I kind of do a little bit. Because it's fucking weird. I mean, the only reason it's weird is because the cops in this area, I live in a small town that has 2 police people, 2 little separate police stations, and there's like 12,000 people in this town. That's crazy. Yeah. Anyways, I say that a lot when I'm on these videos because I feel like I have to talk the whole entire time. I can't just like enjoy silence. I don't know why I'm talking like this. Oh gosh. You know what's really also kind of crazy? Like, people don't understand how to forgive. A lot of people do not. They hold grudges. When you hold on to it, think about if you held on to all your shit. Like if you'd never shit out all the waste of your body. Oh my God, how gross would that be? That's what holding a grudge is like. But it's just energetically builds up, and your aura gets uglier and stinkier and grosser. Or grosser, I don't think is a word, but more gross. Look at this thing. Is it a drone? Is it a drone? Is it a star? Is it a motherfucking aeroplane? I'm just kidding. I don't know. Anyways. Oh, there comes another train. I think it's a drone. Man, there's these drones in Airway Heights, Washington, right next to Fairchild Air Force Base. And I think I have a video of one of those drones on my channel somewhere, like a short or something. I kind of want to know if I'm shadow banned, because it's kind of weird that, like, I don't know, but I gotta wave at this train just a minute. That's like on my bucket list. If I had a bucket list, I don't really have a bucket list because I believe I'm probably going to live to be like 117. So I think I'll figure it all out by then. Hopefully I'll figure something out by then. Maybe I'll be a master at something by then. Master at tagging trains, motherfuckers. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to be a master at that. But I mean, you never know. Who knows? However, I do want to tag a train someday. Maybe I'll buy a train so I can tag it, and then or buy one of those things. I'll buy one of those those shipping containers, and I'll tag it up, and then I'll ship it somewhere, and then I'll sell it, and someday, somewhere, I will see my tag again. I will tag TWG. Yep, I will. For Tommy Wolf's Girl. Or True White Gangster. Or, that's what it. Or Twisted White Gangster. Or Tommy Wolf Gang. Look at this guy. Might as well wave at the plane, or that drone too. That's a big ass drone. These things look like planes. That's how big they are. I think that thing is not manned. It's all freaking, like remote control. They blocked off a street a few years ago to test the drone. Yeah, the Cheney Police Department. You know, they have these new license plate readers that they put them, around, like right when you get on and off the freeway and stuff. You see this sheriff vehicle sits there. It's got this like arm that comes all the way up, like those cameras you see in Walmart parking lots, the security cameras. Yeah, it's one of those sticking out of the top of a sheriff's SUV, and it's got one of that license plate reader technology on it. You know, that kind of technology is a little bit scary. Do you want to know why it's scary? Let's say you're a criminal. It's not just criminals, but let's just say you're a criminal. And, I mean, we need criminals to help make the world go round right now. You know, like, what would the cops do if there were no fucking criminals? Wonder if they think about that. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, not all criminals are criminals, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean, then you know what I mean. And everybody Anybody can change. Like, I mean, my husband had spent speaking of cops, my husband spent his whole childhood being a criminal. Like, when he was, I think, 5 or 6 when he robbed his first house. Yeah. Him and his brother, there was this house that they knew had a ton of change right when you walked in the door. And yeah, it was this brick house. He showed me the house one time. Yeah. That's 6 years old. I think he was 6, his brother was 5. Yeah. Or one of his brothers. Then they moved on to churches after that, the sound system in churches. And then they moved way up. But at one point, my husband was in the freaking paper for being a rooftop burglar when he was a teenager. Like, I mean, but that's all he knew. Not all he knew, but that's what he knew at the time. And, you know, at that time, there was a lot of people that were doing, I mean, he was born in the 70s, so, and I was born, like, when you're born, like, it was different anyways back then. In the 90s, 80s and 90s, it was way different. Those are some blacked out windows. Gosh, how do people see? I know I was driving a freaking car with some blacked out windows for a while, and I had to roll the windows down to see. That's crazy, these people. Shit. I forgot I don't have shoes on. Damn. Anyways, I'm gonna go over here and see if my friend's home. Whew. What was I saying? Dang. Oh yeah, the criminals. So with these license, they say that they only keep the information for 30 days. But in 30 days, in AI, they see if you don't live in the area, let's say your car is registered to one address, but you're always going back and forth to Cheney, but you don't work in Cheney. And there's license plate readers, not just in Cheney, but there's license plate readers everywhere, you know. So, and they plug that into the technology into some AI app or something. They can predict where you're going to go, what you're going to do, and what you're doing, and where you're going. That's kind of like, why did people? We don't need a. I don't think crime has got that bad, you know. I think what they want to be able to target us with ads and with whatever, and just monitor, because they want to experiment and be weirdos. Something has to be something, because there's not that many. They say, oh, it's for cases like Amber Alerts and like, so we can track these oh my gosh, you can send a freaking Amber Alert out on every single cell phone in the world and guarantee you're gonna get a hit on something. Somebody's gonna call in if that vehicle's out there. So you don't need the motherfucking license plate readers. It's just weird. They're just collecting data. That's all it is. So the people that don't have vehicles and that take public transportation, they're probably the people that are not monitored as much, maybe. I don't know. That place might be a money laundering place. Who knows? I don't know why I just thought that. They were nice when I went in there. They were nice, but they were very unprofessional, I guess. I don't know. They weren't there when they said they were going to be, and then they weren't there when I dropped off the truck. And they still haven't told me how much they charged my card. I had to look on the bill. Anyway, maybe they're just new business owners, or maybe they just don't give a fuck. Whatever. I just hope they're not trying to come into this town and freaking do some. That's the thing. Like, that's what we need to change. I need to put some shoes on right here. It's a good idea, maybe, for the world to stop giving money to churches, first of all. I'm just kidding. We need churches. People need something to believe in. But if they believed in themselves and the magic within themselves, the God within themselves, the universe within themselves, how we are all one, the world would be just so much better, because people would be able to bring each other up. Like, people siphon energy nowadays because other people don't know they're siphoning energy. Imagine everybody being in the know about energy and about the transfer of it and all of that. If every human was in the know of that, and and taught their children about that. Don't you think it'd be a better world? Don't you think it'd be a more positive world? Don't you think we'd have less criminals? Let's start at the root of the fucking problem. Ugh. Oh, do you hear that? Oh, hi, bat friend. I don't know if that was a bat. It wasn't flying as fast as a bat, but it could have been. It was cool. It's been following me because I heard it a couple other times. I wonder why. I saw a dead mouse today. I don't know if that's bad or good. Probably means that I need to drop some dead weight. Get rid of some things in my life. Or it could mean that I'm going to be all of a sudden so abundant that I won't know what to do with all of these things. Like rats or mice don't know what to do with all of their babies. I'm just kidding. See, there's a positive way to look at everything. There's a walnut tree over here I'm so excited to pick the walnuts up off the ground this year. I'm going to make some fake self-tanner out of the holes or whatever you call them. Okay, I have to be quiet for a second. Okay, my friend wasn't home. No license plate light. Well, but you can see the reflection. No license plate light. Huh. Whatever. Oh, man. This store used to be a Sears. Yeah. I used to wait on them at this place, Frank's Diner, that I used to work. The owner and her son used to come in for lunch. It was cool. I can't believe how expensive groceries have gotten. I mean, of course people are complaining and saying whatever they complain about it, but I've been trying not to complain about it because, I'm grateful to have groceries. I'm so grateful that we can even have a store. There's a cop right there. Oh. I used to get harassed a lot by the police, so it's hard for me to... I think I have PTSD from how much I've had to deal with the police. They've literally been to my house hundreds of times. Hundreds. That's not an exaggeration. Not even a little bit of an exaggeration. No license plate light. And that cop just turned around and got behind that guy. But nope, he's doing that, whatever he's doing. Not pulling that guy over for not having a license plate light. Probably gonna pull me over for walking without a light. One time I got pulled over 4 times. 4 motherfucking times in 1 week. 1 week. How low can you go? A lot of air traffic tonight. I gotta get rid of this soda. It's like killing me. It's gross. I don't know why I got such a big one. Anyways, one time I got pulled over 4 times in 1 week on my bike because I didn't have a front light. Like, I've been pulled, not just counting how many times I've been to my house, but I've been pulled over so many times. Like, one time I got pulled over in a car that I didn't know, because I'm the only one that has a driver's license out of everybody that I know. I don't know why that is. It seems like everybody gets a suspended license. I don't know. But I don't have a suspended license. I've never had a suspended license. My license has always been good standing my whole life. Since I was 17. Never been to jail. But yet, I'm considered, like, my neighbors probably think I'm like in a gang or something, or some sort of criminal activity, so of course So I'm gonna go walk past this. Oh. Anyways, he's parked right there. So this happens. Oh, I've never let them in my house. Not once. Because there's no reason to. Because I'm not gonna let some human I don't know in my home. That's scary, especially for a mom. Oh, look at that. Those motherfuckers are moving. It's crazy when I start talking about certain things, people start to get... Where is he? You see him? Crazy. Anyways, that's why sometimes I go live on YouTube when I'm walking at night, because I've been blocked in and almost hit by a car. There was like a 3-car group of people it was scary. I mean, my dog almost got ran over. I wonder why they're moving at night this late. I wonder why the cops is over there. Certain houses in this small town I live in. Never mind. My mom retires. My mom is retiring. Like, how exciting. When you retire from a job that you've been doing forever, like, that's like literally starting a whole new life. Like, that's starting a whole new chapter. Like, actually a new book. Fuck, all your chapters are done with that one. You're starting a new book. There's another police officer. What's that movie when they're like, call the po-po-ho? Oh, there was these 2 girls one time. They were grown women talking shit to my little kid when she was like 8 or 9. And that was not nice of them. So I went down to their apartment and I fucking knocked on the door, and then I went and stood in the middle of the street and I waited. Because I already knew how they were, and I already knew how they were going to probably react, so I just decided I was going to get as far away from anything they could hit me with. So I stood in the middle of the street. And of course, they tried to fight with me. And my friend pulls up in her car and she's like, get in the car, Jenny. Get in the car. So I get in the car, whatever. I go home. These bitches show up at my house with their children. Oh my gosh. And they're on the phone with the police. I'm like, the cops, they're not going to do anything. You're at my house and I haven't done anything wrong. Anyways, they're like telling the dispatcher, she's saying that you guys are not going to arrest her. You better come down here and arrest her. Well, the cop, oh man, it was really, anyways, long story short, I hadn't done anything wrong. That's the only time out of the hundreds of times that the police had been to my house, that's the one time they were there for me. One time. Out of hundreds. Yeah. So I don't think the Cheney police really liked that my husband moved to Cheney. Sometimes I feel like maybe they targeted him a little bit, but they did save him at one point too. So, because I think they realized he had changed his life. People can change. That was my whole point back fucking 25 minutes ago. Not the whole point of the video, but I'm right now back to where I started, literally and figuratively. So, anyways, people can change. My husband went from, he'd been, by the time we were married, he had been to prison already. By the time he was 33, he'd already been to prison 4 times. And his other brother, I don't know how many times he'd been to prison. He'd been there a few times too. And then his other brother went in 1990. There's another cop right there. Went in 1991 and got out in 2021. Just recently got out, or 3 years ago got out. He was there for a long time. 30 years. He did every single bit of his sentence. And they gave him an exceptional sentence for his crime because it was particularly brutal. So that might say a little bit about, how my husband's life could have went and how it ended up going, because we got married, we had 2 kids. Literally, when we got married, he had never had a legitimate job in his life. He just hadn't. He'd either been in prison or when he was younger at school, excuse me, or, he just never had. No, I think one time he had like a sheetrocking or a painting job one time when he was like 17. Another no license plate light. Okay, anyway. So when we got married, we moved in together. We had a safe and an air mattress. That was it. And he was so sweet. We didn't have sex till we got married. He was like, it was his idea because he was the perfect husband. Never called me a name, never called me like, how some people get in arguments and they say, oh, stop being a bitch, or he never did that. Not the first 5 years we were married, not one time did he ever even raise his voice to me. I mean, and I got pregnant on my wedding night, and so we only had 9 months of being married before we had a kid, and we worked together, at the same place, because when I found out I was pregnant, he went and got a job, and we got everything out of our house. We stopped doing what we were doing, and he got a regular job, and that's how it was ever from then on. And that is, for a man to do that's a real man. He stepped up and he did exactly what he was supposed to do. And to this day, that man still takes care of us. His death benefits help us, because if it wasn't for them, I mean, I would have to be a one-parent household that went to work all the time, and my kids wouldn't have any guidance, because, they just wouldn't. So even though he passed, and he committed suicide, which is a very controversial topic for a lot of people, because people say you go to hell. You don't go to hell for committing suicide. God needs you, and he wants to make sure you get there to help. And during this universe, in this transition, he needs you on a different dimension or something. I haven't figured it out yet, but my theory at this point is you do not go to the figurative hell or whatever they call it for committing suicide, because my husband to this day still takes care of his family, and the way that it works out, if he would have never got that legitimate job and changed his life, there would have been no way for him to be taking care of his family still after death. And the fact that it's an amazing thing how it all worked out. And the only way that it could have all worked out the way that it did is through God. So I am for sure knowing that you do not go to hell for committing suicide. To anybody that needed to hear that, that's the truth. I mean, and I've been to the meetings for survivors of suicide, people that are the survivors of the people that committed suicide. And we all have the same story, just different versions. But we all need hope, and to hope is hold on, pain ends. Because it's like an awakening. When my husband committed suicide, I had it was the worst fucking, oh my God, but then, and when my daughter told me, my dad has his wings, but he doesn't have that thing on his head yet, holy shit, I was devastated. I thought that meant that he was in hell. I was fucking devastated. But do you know what happened the next day after that? Literally the next day. The next freaking day, I'm at a farmer's market thing or something like that. Some sort of where people have booths. And I see this painting. And it's of a Native American man, and he's got 3 crows above him. Well, crows, my husband used to always say the crows followed him. And they did. It was crazy. But anyways, so I walked over to look at this painting. Oh, look at the stars. So I walk over to look at this painting. And the artist, she walks over to me. And she had all these homemade greeting cards. And she pointed at one of the cards, and she was eating at the time. Like, she had these noodles that she was eating. And she had a mouthful of food. And she says, grab that. And she's like pointing like with her pinky finger, like pointing at this card that's on the table. And I pick it up, and she looked at me, and she said, "Read it." And I remember, and she was putting her fork back into her, oh my gosh, I'm not going to forget it ever. And I read it, and it said, "An angel at his glory." Then she looked at me and she said, "Look, he has his halo." I immediately just started bawling. Because God knew I needed to hear that. It needed me to know. And that's how I found out. That's how I found out that he had his halo. And that he was in God's arms and being taken care of and probably help me to bring heaven down onto earth someday. Who knows, but we're still a team, I believe. Anyways, and I think that was just amazing. And I have so many other stories that are kind of like that story, but that was the most amazing. And it gets even better because I had a friend with me that witnessed the whole thing. I didn't witness this. It wasn't by myself. I had my neighbor with me, actually, Heidi, my neighbor. And Heidi and I are like, she lost a brother to suicide. And her brother's birthday is the same day as my son's birthday, who is named after my husband. And her daughter's birthday is the same day as my wedding anniversary. Yeah, I think we were meant to be friends, obviously. Anyway, this lady hugged my friend Heidi before she walked away. Because I had to walk away. I just was crying. I needed to get out of there. It was so overwhelming, that whole experience. I was scared. I was happy. I was sad. Didn't know what to think. It was, because it wasn't long after he had passed. It hadn't even been a month, I don't think. Anyway, it had been maybe 2 months. It was, yeah. And it was a rough 2 months because and I remember his family, he has 5 sisters too, not counting the brother and the other brother. The other brother they were both in prison when he passed away. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Fuck. You fuckers. I'm not, okay, there was only one of them. If there would have been 2, I kind of would have thought they were trying to intimidate me. It's a long story, but anyways, there's that thing again. That totally threw me off, but anyway, the same lady, she hugged Heidi and said something to her. Whatever she said to Heidi, me and Heidi didn't speak until we got home. We walked to the car, we drove home in silence, and we both then we just said bye and we went to our separate houses. It was that intense. I don't know I still have never asked her what that lady said to her, but I know what she did for me, so I can't imagine what she did for Heidi. It was amazing. And I've seen that lady since one time, and I met her daughter at the same marketplace thing. Yeah. It was beautiful. She was a Native American lady. Yeah. So that's all. And that's all I have to say about that. This is a really long video. Oh my gosh. How long is it? Oh my gosh. Nobody's going to listen to this. Hopefully somebody listens to the end so they can hear that story if they need to, because it's very powerful and it's very true. And it's just another testimony of how God works within us and through us and how we are all one. Because if that wouldn't have been able to come through from her to me if we were not one. The universe is beautiful, amazing, magical. And we need to teach our children that, to keep their imagination, keep creating, and keep this world the magical, beautiful place that it is.